Have you ever felt like you're standing outside this huge library and you just know it's packed with all the answers you need, but you don't have the key to get in? That's exactly what it can feel like with data. Well, today, we're going to give you that key. Let's break down your very first steps in SQL.
Just think about it for a second. All that customer info, the sales figures, inventory levels, it's all tucked away in a database somewhere. But here's the thing. All that amazing information is pretty much useless unless you know how to get to it. It's everywhere, but it's not always easy to access.
So what is a database, really? Honestly, the best way to picture it is as a giant, perfectly organized library. And inside this library, you've got these things called tables. You can think of them as individual bookshelves, where each shelf holds a specific type of information. One for customers, one for products, and so on. All right, so here's our game plan to get you from zero to asking your first real question. We'll start by understanding our data library, then we'll get you access, help you ask that first question, show you how to save it for later, and finally, how to get even more specific with your requests. Sound good? Let's go. Okay, first up, let's get a handle on how we actually talk to this digital library. It's not as simple as just walking in and browsing the shelves. There's a specific system we have to use. So this whole thing works on what's called a client-server architecture. It sounds a little techy, but I promise it's simple. Your computer is the client. The super powerful computer that holds all the data, that's the server. You don't go rummaging through the server yourself. Instead, your computer makes a request, kind of like walking up to a librarian and asking them to find a book for you.
And that's the whole point, right? You can't just yell your request across the library. You have to use the right language, fill out the right form. It's the exact same idea with databases.
So how do we actually get that access? How do we get our request form ready to go? Well, this next section is all about those first practical steps.
It's really just a straightforward three-step process. First, you open up your management tool. Think of this as walking up to the library's main desk. Second, you open a new query window. That's you grabbing a blank request form. And third, you choose the exact database you want to search. This is you telling the librarian, hey, I need you to look in the history section. See? Simple.
Now, the language you write on that request form is everything. It's called SQL, which stands for Structured Query Language, and it's pretty much the universal language for talking to almost any database in the world.
All right, we've laid the groundwork. Now for the fun part. It's time to write our very first sentence in SQL. We're going to start with two simple words, select and then an asterisk. In the world of SQL, that little star is a wild card. It's basically a shortcut that means everything or all of it. So this first part is us saying, hey, show me everything. But everything from where? You have to be specific, right? The second part of our command, from titles, tells the database exactly where to look. We're pointing it to the titles table, or back in our library, the titles bookshelf. And just like that, you have a complete working SQL query. Select star from titles. It's a simple but really powerful instruction that tells the database, show me all the information you have from the titles table. So you hit execute, and boom, the database server gets your request and sends back this perfect, neat little table with all the data from that titles bookshelf. You've got part numbers, book titles, costs, prices, you name it. You've officially pulled data.
Now that you've written your first question, you're probably not going to want to type that out every single time you need it. So let's talk about working smarter, not harder.
This is a massive time saver. And trust me, as your queries get more and more complex, you'll be glad you did this. You can save any query you write as a simple file with a .sql extension. That means you can just open it up, tweak it, and run it again in seconds without having to start from scratch. So, getting all the data is great, but let's be real. Most of the time, you only need certain pieces of information. That's where we learn how to refine our questions. Take a look at this comparison. On the left, you've got our broad question with the star, but check out the one on the right. Instead of the star, we're listing the exact column names we want, the part number, the book title, and the sale price. We're basically telling the librarian, hey, don't bring me the whole book, just tell me the title and the price. And look at the result you get back. It's so much clearer. You get exactly what you asked for and nothing you didn't. This is incredibly useful for creating focus reports and finding just the specific piece of data you need, right when you need it. Okay, one last pro tip before we wrap up. As you write more queries, it's a fantastic habit to leave little notes for yourself or for other people who might look at your code. In SQL, you do this with two little hyphens. Anything on a line after those two hyphens is a comment, and the computer just completely ignores it. It's just there for us humans.
So let's quickly recap what we've covered. Remember, a database is just a big library of information. SQL is the special language you use to ask it questions. Your most basic sentence structure is select from. The little star gets you everything, but listing column names lets you get super specific. And of course, don't forget to save your queries to make your life easier.
You now have the fundamental tool to start exploring. You can officially ask a database for information and get an answer back. So the question isn't how you'll ask anymore, it's what you'll ask. What secrets are just waiting for you, locked away inside your data library?